salary is the drug they give you to forget your dreams. Joshua says, as for me and my house, we'll serve the Lord. If you're a Christian, you probably got that up on your wall someplace. Yeah. We think it means me and my kids, and it does not mean that. Household meant you and the 100 people that you work with. You influence them in the name of Jesus. Does that mean that everybody needs to be a Christian, and if they're not, you need to fire them? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you influence those 100 people. What are we going to do to impact this culture? Begging people to come to Sunday morning is not doing it. So that was in my heart. I was like, we're going to raise up entrepreneurs. What if we've got 20 entrepreneurs in here? Each one of them had 10 people that they had working for them. Now, how much of an impact are you making? And the people that work for them, each one of their families, now you're impacting people multiple layers deep.
Hey, it's Adam, and you're listening to The Adam Cobb Show. Weekly content devoted to all things fitness, finding your center, and fumbling through fatherhood. Thank you for taking the time to tune in. We hope this is a space that you come to, that you can feel connected. We're better together. Please subscribe and follow all of our social channels so you don't miss a thing. Let's listen to today's episode. Welcome, Scott. Scott Fairchild, thank you for saying yes to being a guest. And I have at least 17 questions to ask you today.
Okay, that's great.
The very first one is this. And I'm going to just get this out because this says, Scott Fairchild, this is your business card.
Yeah.
Okay. It says pastor and chief innovator.
Right.
And I found that to be interesting, you know, and we're here at the lab, which is your space of chief innovator and your creator. This is your space. But what it really took me was when I flipped it over. And hopefully Gene can zoom in on this, because this, I thought, and I'm just gone through a full 5 seasons of Yellowstone.
Oh, you went through all of them?
So all of them, right in a row. So I'm like hot off that Yellowstone train. Okay. John Dutton is going through me, all the Kevin Costner stuff. And I turned that around and I saw John Dutton. And I said, okay, I've never thought of doing that, but now I want to do that. I want a business card with something on the back. I don't know what it's going to be, but I want to know what this means and sort of how did you come up with that image?
Okay, so that's one. It's like I didn't want a business card like everybody else's. Two, my wife Tracy designed it, but I just said, Trace, I want something that's just it's not going to be like a typical business card, and I really wanted to kind of to display a little bit of who I am and what I am. And I grew up on a farm. I grew up riding horses. My favorite things are still having to do with. Shouldn't say that. My favorite things are my family, obviously, but it's like I love horses. I mean, I just love everything about a horse. I tell people all the time, I'm totally convinced that there are horses in heaven because Jesus is coming back on a white horse. So if he's coming back on one, there's got to be some other ones up there. Okay, and so that's just I love that. So I guess that was part of it. It just makes it stand out, and it's just makes you think and want to ask more questions. So I guess that's part of the reason.
100%. 3 reasons why I really wanted to have you on. Number 1 was this image.
Okay.
Because it's so bold and it says so much. And coming off the heat and the interest of Yellowstone, I was really fascinated. Right. The second thing is, of course, your James Earl Jones voice of God. And your voice, I know, is going to it's going to speak to someone, and at the very least, they're going to try to sort of mimic it, and they're going to try to drop at least 1 octave lower. And I thought maybe on this, on this conversation, I will try to do the same.
Okay.
And then,
all right, that's good.
And then the third thing was simply, you've been so generous to invite me here to record the Adam Cobb Show here at your lab. And it's been such a space that's really kicked off this show. And I am super grateful. And there's a kindness element that's attached to that I want to explore with you around there's a kindness that is felt, that is seen, that is experienced and heard whenever we've chatted outside of this wall. And I've often thought, like, Scott, where does that come from? Like, where does that kindness that's just so generous to say, hey, Adam, like, record your show here and bring people together to create and everything. And I'm curious where that's come from. And I just want to also say again, thank you.
One, you're welcome. It's like, and it's a great question. And because I thought about it, it's like, okay, I grew up on a farm. Okay. And the neighbors, I mean, we looked out for each other. I mean, everybody, I think that's part of what I grew up with is you automatically look out for each other. I mean, I tell stories. There's two stories I really like to tell about my dad. One is my dad. And he was, there was one of the farmers that I can't remember whether he had a heart attack or what it is that he had. It was in the springtime. That's when you're supposed to be planting crops. And my dad, and I think a couple other farmers also, when they're supposed to be planting their crops, because the one farmer was in the hospital and could not plant his, they stopped planting their own crops and went and planted his to make sure his got in on time, risking their own. It's like Kansas in the springtime the weather could be ridiculous. And so you didn't know exactly when, if you have to get the crops in at the right time. It's a whole timing thing. And my dad did that. He did that for somebody. And I even asked him about it. He just kind of shrugged his shoulders like, well, that's just what we do. That's just what you do. I'll tell you another story I think is really funny because people love that because we're in LA now.
And again, so you are from Kansas.
I'm right? from Kansas.
Just want to get clear on that. Yep.
We're in LA. Okay. You never leave your keys in the car anywhere around here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'm in a farm. We're at a farm. Our closest neighbors, about a half mile away. We came home one night, or my dad came home one night, and the pickup, which should have been parked in the yard, was gone. And Dad looked and goes, "Oh, somebody must have borrowed it." And yeah, lo and behold, one of the farmers had run out of gas, and he walked over. He goes, "Oh, Don's got his truck's there. I'm going to go borrow his truck." Borrowed his truck, and then came back. Ended up coming back later. Dad never thought anything of it. And we didn't think anything of it because, yeah, that's you just did that. You looked out for each other. And so I think maybe that's part of what it came out of, which is part of the reason Tracy and I call this the city barn, because we're trying to blend the best of the farm life with city life. City life is just, and it's LA. It's like, it's innovative. It's creative. It's like, it's such an amazing place because, again, you got people from all different backgrounds and ethnicities. And I mean, there's a whole thing that goes into that I'm just fascinated with. But you miss sometimes, like, how many people even actually know their neighbors or even would talk to their neighbors. It's like, we knew our neighbors. They were a half mile or a mile away, but we knew all of them. And so it's like, how do we bring what we grew up with? Tracy grew up in a small town, actually outside of Flint, Michigan. I grew up on a farm. How do we take what we've grown up with that has been so valuable to us, and how do we bring it into here? And so that's what we did. And so I guess that's kind of what you get is like you come in. It's like, we just do this because that's what neighbors do. That's what friends do. It's like they look out for each other. If I got something, you need it, you can use it. Sure. It's like that's the way we operated. So that's the way we operated the church. That's really kind of the way we operated the lab.
Do you leave your keys in your car here in LA?
That would be no.
Okay.
But now I've got a car. It's like it's one of those that it's like it beeps at you if it's unlocked. It's on my phone. I've got an app that says you left your car unlocked, or you left your windows down. You left.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it wouldn't let me do it even if I wanted to.
Oh my goodness, my good friend Dane that I was on set with in 2016, doing some work with him in Paris, because he had 2 children, and for the second child, just like trying to just do the math can be tricky. And he, living in Brooklyn, left his keys in his van, and then went up and put the kids, in his apartment. And then the next day, this was not Kansas and he did not live on a farm. And the next day, the car was gone.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can only imagine that would happen here. When it comes to farming, I have a mentor in Robert Ferguson, spiritual mentor that we chatted a little bit about, Pastor Robert. He speaks his whole preaching class that he gives every year. The base of his class is about farming. And he believes that if you're going to be a pastor or even just like a really devoted man of faith or woman of faith, that like you need to be on a farm for a certain amount of time because of the fundamental aspects of sowing and reaping. And he sort of like breaks through that like at the origin, like you have to learn how to farm, to grow seed, to be patient. I'm curious, your take on that around how sort of farming has influenced your life and even your pastoral leadership.
The farming, that's a good question. I'm trying to think. It's like, well, one, I always told the church when I was preaching, it's like, you guys are going to get insights that nobody else will get because there's not that many farmers that are preaching, and there's so many of the illustrations that Jesus uses that are around farming. So then I like to tell people, it's like, really, God is a farmer. You guys just don't always catch that. And the whole thing is that, when Genesis, it's like, he created Adam, he created us out of the dust of the ground. I think there really is something powerful and special about the earth and just taking care of it and just the rhythm of nature and life. And so in that sense, I think it probably has made me a better communicator with the scriptures. The farming, there's seasons to life. In fact, I was talking to James and Tracy a while back. We were talking about some things here, and there's seasons to life. It's like there's seasons to, and it's crazy to say that. I can back up for a minute. We're in LA. There's no such thing as seasons. It's like somebody was asking me about can you grow things here? I said, I can grow things, but I don't know what the seasons are. It's like, at least when I grew up in Kansas, I knew when there were seasons. Like, you could know when fall is coming in and winter. And
I'm from New England, so same thing.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I know about seasons. And so I think LA, we forget that. There really are seasons to our lives, and there's seasons that we need. There's a rhythm that comes from the seasons. And there is a time in winter, okay, you shut down for a little bit. You don't have to be go all the time. And that's the tough thing, I think, for LA. I still haven't figured that part out. It's like, because it's even in January, if it gets below 60, we think it's just freezing. And it doesn't make sense. So it's like we're always go. Yeah,
I mean, actually, in my mom's and Pops' house in Massachusetts, there is literally it's a framed picture that has the seasons in sort of a tree, and in fall it has like the leaves falling, winter the tree is bare, right? Spring they're coming, and summer it's full, and it's just a reminder of the seasons. And when I go home now to Massachusetts, I can smell, which I didn't realize that would ever be the case, but now I can smell the season.
Yeah, you can.
And I'm like, wow, spring smells so good.
Yeah.
And I think a friend of mine said out here is like, she was like, we have like morning and evening, and we have like daytime and evening, or because there is a cool of the morning, there's a cool of the evening, but there isn't necessarily the seasons like you said. So that's interesting. I haven't thought of that. And there's a natural flow, especially if you're from that, to sort of hibernate in a winter. So you said you haven't figured that out yet, but I'm sure you've, just by naming it, the awareness is high. The awareness wasn't even there for me. So I'm curious what you've done. What have you done with that so far?
Well, I think there's a sense of, it's like there's got to be a season of regrouping. It's like we're not always, we can't always be on all the time. There really needs to be a seasons of, okay, now I got to pull back. The fall you harvest. Okay, there's a harvest, and then winter. It's like it's a pullback, and the pullback is not just to sit back and relax. What do you do in the wintertime? For us, wintertime's like we got things ready for the spring because we know spring's coming. And so you prepare yourself for spring. Now, what do you need to do to prepare yourself? what's the next season that you have? It's like, what is it you need to do? Like, okay, in this next season of my life, what is it that I want to be able to accomplish? And so then you have this, however long it may be, this winter or this season of shutdown, and the purpose for it is like, I'm preparing for what goes on in the spring, because springtime, that's when we plant. That's when the calves were born. We had a lot of cows. So the calves were born. So does it make sense to you? So
What's the season for you right now?
The season that I'm in right now is the frustration season.
Oh, yeah. Talk about it.
So, okay. Well, and when I say that, it's, we stopped doing, well, I'll explain a little bit more. I could have pastored until I was 70, 75 years old. Church was happy with us. We were doing great. I know how to go through the motions. I know how to do, how to preach, what to do, how to help people, how to serve people. And
I'm so happy you're touching on this, because I very much wanted to ask you what created that transition. I don't know. So
there was a lot of things that led into that, and I can tell you that story in a minute. But I just thought it was like, I could have, but out on the front of the lab is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And so it's like, well, what would I do? I wouldn't just keep going through the motions. I would go into something that had been a dream for us. I thought it was 2011, but I actually went back and looked at some of I journal. I went back 2009. I'd already talked about it. It's like, we need to raise up entrepreneurs. Now let me explain to you why I want to do that. One, I felt like the Lord called me to go into raising up entrepreneurs. Okay. The second reason for it is okay, so we, most of us, Joshua chapter, whatever, is it 26, 28. Where Joshua says, as for me and my house, we'll serve the Lord. And we all, a lot of, if you're a Christian, you probably got that up on your wall someplace. It's like, and so we think it means me and my kids, my wife, my kids, and it does not mean that. Household meant everybody that worked for you. So my household, let's say you got your business, you got 100 people in your business, whatever it may be. The household is not you and your family. The household is you and the 100 people that you work with. Now, does that mean that everybody needs to be a Christian? And if they're not, you need to fire them? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you influence those 100 people. You influence them in the name of Jesus. And so when Joshua says, as for me and my household, we're going to serve the Lord. It's like, I set my business up so it will honor the Lord in everything that we do. What is it? Interstate Batteries. I think it's Interstate. Go back and look at Interstate Batteries, because what they did is they said, we're going to glorify God in all we do. Well, they're really good batteries, but it's like they said, not everybody has to be Christian, but this is what we commit to. And so all that leads up to, I felt like, so what are we going to do to influence and impact this culture? Because Sunday morning's not doing it, and begging people to come to Sunday morning is not doing it. So it was in my heart. It's like, there's got to be something else. What do we need to do? Like, okay, we're going to raise up entrepreneurs. It's like, so now what if we've got 20 entrepreneurs in here? What if we got 50 entrepreneurs in here, and each one of them had 10 people that they had working for them? Now, how much of an impact are you making? Because it's not just those entrepreneurs, it's the 10 people that work for them, or the however many people that work for them. And the people that work for them is like each one of their families. Now you're impacting people multiple layers deep. And so we just said, we had wanted to create what we call a lab. We actually came up with the name in 2015, Los Angeles Business Incubator. And we've done startup or meetups. we'd hosted events. We've done different things all through there. But in 2019, Tracy and I just thought, it's the old fish or cut bait. It's like, we tried to do the church and we tried to do this, and neither one of them are.
We're trying to do both.
We're trying to do both.
Oh,
and we finally said, we're going all in. We're going to go all in. Yeah. I had a board that was with us. It's like, okay, let's go. And then right after that, the pandemic hit. Ooh. So nobody was doing church then. But that's where we moved into what we do now with the lab. And so to have you come in, it's like that, this is just music to us. We had a group called Novus Global, which are business coaches. They came in 2 weeks ago, and Tracy and I got to sit in on their meetings, and we're watching, and we have on our wall in the sanctuary, when we had the sanctuary, a great big sign that says, "We set the stage for your story." It's actually up in the gymnasium right now. That's where that sign is. I sat and I watched Novus Global, and they were working with, it's about 35 different coaches. Okay, so those 35 different coaches are impacting how many people? And those people are impacting how many businesses? And you go down through the list. And so we had set this whole thing up. So Novus Global did their event, and I thought, we're doing it. We set the stage for Novus Global to come in and do these work with these business coaches, and these business coaches are impacting how many other people. And it's like, it's doing it. This is what we wanted to do. And so I'm going on, but I'm just this part I guess I get excited about.
Yeah, I can see it.
I kind of get excited about.
Yeah.
It's like, used to be, it's like I would have to try to get people to come to church. We're gonna have the In-N-Out truck this week. We're gonna have, you try to get people to come to church for whatever. Not that they're necessarily bad, but it's like, now what I tell people is, they knock on our door and they want to come in. I don't see a whole lot of churches where people are knocking on the door and they're wanting to come in. It's like, and again, I want to be careful. I'm not criticizing churches, but I will tell you this. It's like, after the pandemic hit, and I was part of a denomination, and the denomination's like, and I read the stats, and people are saying 70% of people have returned to the church. It's like, wait, 70% of people, that means we lost 30%. And that means, and if you look at the stats, we were already losing people before the pandemic, and then we lost another 30%, and then maybe we could do something different.
Yeah. Because
I believe we have the greatest message in the world. There's no other message like Jesus Christ. There's nothing that will change you like Jesus Christ will. So if we're not getting that message out, maybe we just need to look at the way we're doing the message. So then it comes back to what we did with the lab. This, like, we're just trying to come up with new ways. It may not even be the perfect way. It's like, I'm just trying to come up with new ways to reach people for Christ. In the process, if they connect with, I want to start a business, and we've helped them to start a business, whether they're Christian or not. I think Jesus is happy because, like, hey, this is what I created this person to do. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, those are the things.
What is this area considered? The location here in where is the lab located?
It's right here. It's in this building.
No. Meaning, like, what's this area called? Is this
the South Bay area? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, South Bay, but like the town is considered.
Is Gardena?
Gardena,
which we laugh at. It's like Tracy and I were laughing about it. It's like, if you're going to start a business incubator, you would not start it in Gardena.
Okay.
You would not start it in Gardena. Yeah. But it's like, it's just like God. He picks the most unlikely people, and he picks the most unlikely places.
Yeah.
And it's like, watch what I'm going to do. Yeah. So we're just faithful.
And for somebody that's listening to this, that's like, I want to check out the lab. And you said lab, but you also said city barn, but you referred to this as the lab.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And if people wanted to, like, come and check it out, and, like, what would you tell them? Like, who is this meant for people to come and see what you've built? What it's meant for is, who's that for? Who's that person? Yeah. Yeah. If you want to start your business, or you're even thinking about a business, it's like, one of the, before you said, hey, what would be your favorite drink or favorite sermon? And I got to thinking about it. It's like, my favorite sermon would be the one where it has to do with learning to dream again. Because too many people die with their dreams inside of them. That was my sermon. It was based, too many die with their dreams inside of them. That was your sermon that you gave? Yeah. And it's from the book of Acts, where it says, your young men will see visions and your old men will dream dreams. Now, I used to read that as, you mean the old people dream dreams? It's like, but that's not what it means. When you're young, you got visions, you could do anything. I'm going to
I'm going to be anything. I'm going to be a football player. I'm going to be a basketball player. I'm going to be, you ask a little kid, it's like, draw me an elephant. Well, they'll draw an elephant. As in their mind, it's an elephant. I mean, there's not anything that's impossible for them. Okay. So your young men will see visions. They'll see things. When the scripture says your old men will dream dreams, what it means is the dream that you gave up on, I'm going to restore. So now you start dreaming again. Because what, and when it says old, it doesn't necessarily, you can be 25 and you've given up on your dreams. When you give up on your dreams, it's like now you're just going through the motions. So that scripture means I'm going to revive the dream that you gave up on. Now, if you're going to play, like I'll never play basketball, pro basketball. Couldn't even play college basketball. But so it's not like those kind of dreams, but there are things that are within us that I think that are God-sized dreams within us that we want to just help to release. So to answer part of the other questions, like I want to help people to discover what that dream is. What is it that you gave up on?
Yeah. And this is your dream. The lab.
Absolutely it is.
Is your dream. We're literally right now in your dream.
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. This is the dream. Just to be able to create a place where it's innovative, it's creative.
Yeah.
It's where people, we talked about hope. It's like people have hope. I mean, I've had people come in, it's like, man, I just feel like I can dream again. Perfect. And it's, they haven't done anything except walk into the space. Well, I can tell you part of it is because, man, every inch of this place has been prayed over so many times by so many people and continually by some intercessors that pray with me like every Wednesday. So I just kind of smile. It's like, yeah, there's something special here, isn't there?
When I walked in a year ago, right before the boys were born, Sterling and Lino were born, I remember walking in and being hit with what felt like a, a lot of churches use this, but it's like, welcome home. But like, I really felt like that when I walked in. Like, it was like, oh, this feels like a home away from home. Like there's a creative energy, there's a spiritual grounding. And I started reading all the quotes. I'm a big quote guy. I'm a big journaler as well. So all of a sudden I started feeling like, oh, that it almost looks like somebody journaled something and put it up on the wall. And I'm like, ooh. And everything was curated so that my thoughts could sort of anchor.
Wow.
And and even like, it's like circles and squares and rectangles and even like that, like the flow of things. And then out there, the way that, there's like swings and the curation of everything. Never mind upstairs with the, if we keep going usually until after a certain hour, I start to hear basketballs from upstairs, even on the podcast. And I'm like, oh, that's my refuge. Like, I was like, let's just keep going. We don't have to stop because of the basketballs, but this is such a beautiful place. And I didn't know that part, that was, that this is your dream. Yeah. And that you allow others to dream in your dream. That's really something special.
Yes.
And that was your favorite sermon that you ever gave. Is that right?
Yeah, it was probably one of my favorites. I guess there were several of them I got to think about. It's like, well, I like that one too, but the one that I go back to is the dream again. It's like, I want people to be able to begin to dream again. And I will tell you, it's like, okay, so for part of the reason for it is like, you get trapped in a system. And I read a quote one time. It's like the system is designed to defend the system. I got trapped in the church system. Don't get me wrong, as I love Jesus, I love the church. It's like, I don't know that the system of Sunday morning is doing what we really wanted it to, because I read this scripture that says you're supposed to make disciples of nations. It's like, I don't think we've quite done that yet. Okay. So, but anybody can be trapped in any system. There was a book, I can't remember the name of the book now, but it was hilarious. It was really a hilarious book. This guy that was, he had bought into the whole business. He was going to be he was in the banking system, but he was in finance. And so he was all in on this finance. He was in there, he was making big bucks, he was doing great. But he came to this point where he was supposed to make a presentation. He and his buddy were going to make this presentation, and he suddenly got sick. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he suddenly got sick. He went into the bathroom, collapsed on the floor, and could not move because he realized, he said he had a panic attack, but he said what he realized was he had bought into the system, hook, line, and sinker. So I use that as an illustration. It's like any of us can get caught into a system that we feel like we're trapped. I mean, some of them that, they just love the whole banking. So I'm not criticizing the banking, but there are people where it's like, wait, but I was created for more.
Yeah, of course.
And so that's part of the reason for here is like just to help people to dream again, help people to innovate, to create. It's like, but I was created for more. I don't want to just be in this system. What is it that, I can't remember the guy's name. It's the Mr. Wonderful, the bald guy that's on the Shark Tank.
Oh yeah.
What did he say? He said a salary is the drug they give you to forget your dreams.
Ooh.
And it's like, okay, but what if we could begin to release people into the dreams that they have, whatever they might be? It's like, let's just help them to do that. So I've answered your question 3 or 4 different ways, but it's the whole idea is like, that's what the lab is all about. It's like, how do we do that? How do we help people? You said about the swings that are out in the front. Tracy was one of the first things she wanted in there because she said, I don't want
being your wife.
Yeah, my wife.
Yep.
She said, I don't want people to lose their sense of play.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually had board meetings out on there. It's like, okay, we're going to sit here tonight, guys.
Perfect. Yeah, we need that.
And they loved it. They loved it. And
I was sharing before. Go ahead.
Oh no, the meeting got over a lot quicker.
I was sharing before that that there is, like, I'm going to start this, and you halfway committed to doing an outdoor version of this conversation. Halfway. I know you're not fully committed. Of this pull, pray, plunge. And part of the pulling of this tire is because there's something about getting your bare feet in the sand and being on the beach. And like, what does your brain associate? What does your nervous system associate to like beach? It's play. It's like your swings. It's the same thing. It's that's association to play. So it gets people in the sand. It gives them an excuse. I'm sure a lot of people that live here rarely go to the beach. So it's like, let me be your excuse to get your feet and your toes in the sand and maybe even get in the ocean. Like, ooh, that sounds fun. Right. And so like the idea to do that and instantly those swings do that. And you come in and you have that play aspect. I want to circle to your favorite sermon that you ever heard.
Oh, there's a pastor named E.V. Hill, and I heard the sermon 30 some years ago, probably 35, maybe almost 40 years ago now. Dang, it's amazing. It's like, wait, what happened? What happened to the time? But anyway, he talked about, I cannot do his accent correctly.
Let's do our best,
No, he's
at least the body work.
I can't even do that either because he was so good. He was one of my favorite preachers. He says, the land is there, but the land, and then he goes, occupied, and the land is occupied, and we got to occupy the land. So and the whole idea was that for us, it's like, wait, there's resistance that's always going to be there. So then it's up to us to go ahead and overcome, but we're supposed to be more than overcomers. Interesting story is, I think it's in the book of Judges, and I've used it before because I've told people, it's like the enemies were left in the land so that Israel would learn how to fight. I mean, we want things to be easy. We want things to be, Lord, just clear the way for us. Just clear the way. It's like he doesn't do that. And if he did do that, we would never learn to be who we could be. We'll never learn our true selves. So anyway, so go back to that. It's like, I love that sermon. It's like, that just so stood out to me. And then, and then his call then was occupy until I come. And I told you that this is one of my frustrations with churches. So many churches, they spend so much time talking about Jesus coming back soon, and they give all the reasons for why he's coming back soon. And he may be. If he does, awesome. But what if he's not? And if he is coming, why aren't you guys just like all out? You should have all left the church immediately and start going and talking to people about Christ. Because if he's going, or he's coming, he's taking you, why don't you want to take people with you? The essence of what I tell people is like, when I told this act to a Jewish lawyer. I was working with a Jewish lawyer to set this whole program up. And he said, well, he called me pastor. He said, well, what really are you doing? He said, honestly, I said, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm just trying to fill heaven. And he laughed. He goes, oh, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to quote you and say, well, don't quote me because it's not necessarily me. Yeah. But it's like, that's really what it comes down to. It's like, I want to fill heaven. So then it goes back to, if they really thought he was coming back soon, why aren't you guys like doing everything in your power to reach people? Yeah,
I see the passion on your face and with your voice on that. So if someone's in the church right now that feels like this is not we're not picking on church. I love church. And like if somebody's in the church, I've heard this from a lot of friends, and they just feel like sort of like that they're in this like system, but they're not really sure like how can they do more, right? What I'm hearing you say is that, hey, like get out there and like tell people,
right?
And talk people, tell people about Jesus, and also maybe have dinner parties that's curated around like maybe the Bible or whatever it may be. I have some friends that do that. And what else would you tell people that might feel that way?
Here's what I would tell them. Here's what I would love for them to do. It's like, go start a lab. It's like, you don't have to, and I've told people, it's like, this is one of the things that I think we're an advantage with right now, is we actually are working with several different churches. Well, we're working with several different churches because we're not a threat to them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any intention of building a church on Sunday. In fact, I tell people, it's like, when do you have church? I said, well, we have it every day of the week.
Yeah.
And we do. I mean, literally, I feel like we do church. Now, do we have stop and do a hymn, or do we stop and do it? No, but I feel like our lives are interacting. It's like we're the church in action.
Yeah.
So I would just tell them, it's like, man, find some place like this, or do something like this where you can reach people. It's like, dinner parties are great. I think all those things are great. But what if you just help people to discover what their purpose was, or discover what their desires are, discover what their dreams that they've lost. It's like, can we help them with that? Or, any number of, I don't want to put limits, because I think we serve a limitless God. And I will tell you, it's like, somebody asked me one day what the next revival is going to look like. I say it's going to look like no other revival that we've ever had, because God's big enough to not do the same thing twice. And I said, and I don't think it's going to come through the church. I really do believe it is going to come through the business world. I don't know how, but it will.
It's not an idea that I'm hearing from you. It's real conviction. Now, you're really clear on this. And that's why you've done this. You've created this. Goodness. As we transition a little bit into like the now that you're doing, I just want to hear, just as we transition some sort of like pastoral life, which of course you're still a pastor. People still sit with you to talk, but I want to hear a little bit about the lab and sort of what you're doing right now around your writing, as we shared. But first, are there any like, Pastor Scott isms that you just kind of known for, that people are like, oh yeah, so-and-so always says that, or like a word or a phrase that, that just kind of is a signature sort of you-ism,
Well, probably a couple of things that I told you. One, I want people to dream again.
Yeah.
What would you do if you weren't afraid?
Yeah.
I don't want to live with the what if.
Yeah. You say that.
I've said I don't want to live with the what if. It's actually in the book. I wrote this book. It's called The Displaced Cowboy, and it's
okay. So we're getting into that.
Yeah, we're getting.
Okay,
but that's part of what's in there. It's like, I don't want to live with the what if.
Yeah.
What if? What if I had tried? And I don't know whether I have any other isms. I will tell you this: like Tracy and I were talking about today. It's like, I'm not afraid to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want this to go. Don't get me wrong. As I really want this to be successful. You asked me one time, it's like, what keeps you up at 3 a.m.? It's like, what keeps me up is I want this to be successful. What if it's not?
Yeah.
But if it's not, I mean, I would rather have tried and failed than to have never
You're
tried at
fully
all.
trying. Like you're in it right now.
We're all in. It's like we went all in. It's like, and
so few people have that sort of courage, bravery, right, to go all in on their dream. So you clearly, like, from everything you shared, that's not a part of you. Like the sort of limiting, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You went all into this. Is that sort of, again, part of that upbringing, or part of that kind of maturity as a grown man, or like what kind of leads you into like going all in? People listening want to go all in on something.
Okay. I serve an audience of one, and I want to stand in front of him. I want to stand in front of Father and him to say, well done. That's really what it comes down. And I laugh sometimes about it. It's like, what if I stood in front of the Father and he said, Scott, that's not what I meant at all. and he said, but I would think then his next statement would have to be, but I love what you tried to do. I was like, because at least we tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's a big part. Is like, I stand in front. I'm going to stand in front of him someday.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to say, Father, I did everything I could with what you gave me. And so that becomes, I guess, the motivation. And so then and I hope that I pass that on to other people. And the reason for it is like, that's in my heart to do. So there's God's, again, I go back to, there's God-sized dreams that are within you. It's like, don't let those go. Don't let them go because of what somebody may say or what others will say, or because you're in the wrong place or whatever it may be. It's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's going to matter most? So that, I guess that's part of why we did what we did. That's what, no matter what, I want to be able to empower people and encourage people. It's like, just go for it. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? You fail.
Man, I think that might answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. It goes back to your kindness and that kind of leading with kindness and generosity and this kind of open-handedness, open-heartedness. Like, it's like, one, where does that kindness like come from? Like, what is inside of you that allows you to hold that? And then also in a world that some would feel somewhat defeated and kind of chaotic, and there can be some challenges for a lot of people, and they can start to kind of dim their kindness because I hear that a lot from just people saying like, I tried that, but there's so many people that blah, blah, blah. Like how do you protect your kindness so that you continue to lead with kindness? Two questions there, but
I don't know. I really can't tell you. I don't want to say too much. We merged with a church for a while. It did not work out. And he was a friend. But as soon as they merged, it was, aren't you going to retire soon? Aren't you? And I brought him in specifically so that he would do the church and I would do the lab. So we had a transition point. And I hate to say this because I don't really want to make the person look bad, but it's like a group of people within the church, some of them I baptized, some of them I've done, they were part of a group that wanted to help me hurry up. You just need to get out of the way. It didn't work out. They didn't get me pushed out of the way, and they moved on. But there's things like, there was several other things that was the major thing, but there were several other smaller things where people over the years had done things. I don't want to say that
that would harden some people.
It did, and I think in some ways, Adam, I'm more hardened.
Okay.
I wish that I wasn't.
Okay.
But I am. But I still, it's like I try as best I can, but I still want to do the right thing. I still want to treat people like I would want to be treated. So, I just...
If you feel yourself getting a little constricted, Because from like an experience like that would harden somebody. You said you did a little bit, or you are. Like, how do you get yourself to soften, right? Like, what do you?
It's a lot of prayer.
Okay. And
It's a lot of prayer.
What kind of prayers sort of soften you?
Okay. The Bible says to bless and curse not. So then you turn and like part of what happens is like, okay, bless the people that actually did that against us, or it's like, yeah, you just keep blessing them. You just keep blessing them. I don't want to put this. If I saw him walk down the street, I would say hi. Would I carry on a conversation with him? Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's Christian or not, but it's like, no, I really don't care to have a conversation with you.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I don't wish ill on them.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. It's like, no matter what they did, I do know that they love Jesus. I do know there comes a point where we're all standing in the throne room with him, and it won't matter.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Like,
yeah. When we kicked this off in your part of your prayer, you had hope, and you used the word hope and the phrase hope in the prayer. And so, as you said, there'll be a day where you'll be standing in front of Jesus.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, I hope I did. What's your hope? Like, what do you hope to hear back?
From him?
Yeah.
Just well done. That's all I need.
Well done.
That's all I need. I worked for a pastor that brought me out here. I was the youth pastor and then became senior pastor after he retired. And it's funny because he very seldom complimented me. But I always knew I was doing a good job, and it was okay with me. I'm fine with it. And then when he did finally retire, I think like when we were partying, did the party for him and he left. It's like, I think he said, well done. It's like, that's all I needed.
Where did you feel that?
Yeah. I just in there. It's like, but at the same time, even though I heard it, it's like, but he said it, even though he never said the words.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. You don't need much.
I mean, this is maybe you don't know this question, but do you think when you're standing in heaven face to face, do you think his voice is going to be deeper than yours?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
How do you narrow, Adam, that's terrible. It's like, how do you narrow that down to one thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll go back to the book that I just wrote. Okay. It's when we first bought horses, I moved to a farm. I was like 10 or 11 years old. This has been my dream. That had been my little kid. My dad farmed, but he did part-time. We went all in on farming, bought horses. And the guy that was teaching me how to ride said, you'll never be a real cowboy unless you've fallen off your horse at least twice.
Ooh, twice. Okay.
And so I rode with every intention of falling off the horse because like I am cowboy all the way. Yeah. And so
like Jimmy from Yellowstone.
Yeah. So I took maybe not quite like that, but I took chances. Somebody said that's a hard horse to ride. I've got that one. It's like I would take whatever it is that I needed to do. And I actually fell off a lot of times.
More than two.
Yeah. But here's the next part that he told me. But you always get back on. So I guess that was the best. That's probably carried me through everything. It's like, yeah, you're going to fall off, but you have to always get back on. And so I did. Now, later in life, does getting back on mean the same thing? It's like, I'm not going to be a glutton for punishment, but the idea is that you just keep moving. You never give up. So I guess that was probably the one thing. And probably if you'd ask my kids, they say, yeah, dad says this. Like,
how many kids?
4 kids.
4 kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 boys, 2 girls.
2 boys and 2 girls.
They're awesome. They're just amazing. Yeah. And they love each other. They were, 3 out of the 4 of them were FaceTiming yesterday. And it's like, it just didn't get any better than that.
Wow. As a dad, that's, kids are just turning 1 and soon to be 4. How how'd you do that? How'd you parent and father your kids so that they're best friends now?
Well, some of it was we didn't have relatives around a lot. So it was Tracy and I would load up all four of them and here we go. It didn't matter where we went. It's like it was all four of them together. It was, and then we've instilled that in them. It's like, you guys, your friends are going to come and go, but you'll always have, you're always going to have, they'll always be your siblings. They'll always be there. And they respect that. And I don't know, I guess they grew up with that. And so they latched onto it. They're each other's best friends. They're each other's biggest fans. 3 out of 4 of them played sports. So whoever was playing, we all went to the game. It's like, it just.
Are traditions important to you?
Yeah.
And do you have any family traditions that you may have started that you want to share?
I don't know that we necessarily have. Of course, there's Christmas and Thanksgiving, and Tracy and I laughed about it. It's like, for years, it was, our wedding anniversary, and the kids would be, it's your wedding anniversary. Where are we going? And so, most parents, it would be, we're going to go away. Oh, no. Our kids always thought, it's like, well, of course we would go with you guys wherever you're going. So it's like, so we laugh about that. So that was just, it's the anniversary.
Family trips together.
A lot of family trips. We did quite a few. Yeah, we did cross country trips because most of the family lived away. So they would, load them all in a vehicle. Here we go.
That's special. You mentioned earlier about journaling, and I've journaled pretty much every single day since I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
It's part of my story, and it's part of my TEDx talk, and I'm a big journaler. And anybody that follows me knows that I have this BID practice, which is basically what's the beauty in the day, and I write it. And, and I've done it for since for a very long time. I'm curious, your process of journaling. So many people want to journal.
Right.
And there's now science that backs writing hand to paper, not thumbs to text messaging, but hand to paper is as therapeutic for your brain as a massage is for your body. Okay. And it's just the way it is. It's real simple. Science and research says now, so people are okay now. But if you've been a journaler your whole life, like I have, I know how therapeutic that is for me. I know how centering it is for me. A lot of people go but what do I journal? I'm curious if you have anything to share there. Kind of what's your process like?
That's a good question. It's I whatever. It's I journaled, okay, I'm going to be on Adam Cobb Show today. He asked me some questions. Here's what he asked. So it could be something as simple as that. It could be, I read the scriptures every day. So it's sometimes there'll be a scripture that'll stand out. It's okay, I'll journal about that. It will be, and sometimes it's real short. Sometimes it's just pretty much the day. I started a habit of at least 50 things that I want to be thankful for. And so I do that at the morning. So I remind myself what day number this is. And I'm on 636 or something. So day 636 of 50. And so then it becomes my reminder every day that I do that.
So you have 50 things that you want to be grateful for?
Yeah, I don't write all 50 things. I just make sure that I'm thankful for 50 different things before I start my day.
Yeah.
And it can be anywhere from, okay, at least I got out of bed this morning. My toes work, my feet work. It could be, but you got to do something. And so it can be that. It can be what I'm praying about. I actually have a separate prayer journal that what I do is here's the things I'm praying for. And then I have scripture promises. There's 7,700 scripture promises. So it's I just find promises that go with whatever it is I'm praying about. So back to the journal. I can, sometimes it's really long because it's I got to get this out. And I just, I'll type a whole, I put it in my computer. So I'll type a whole bunch of stuff. Some days it's not much more than, it's whatever day it is of 50. And I remind myself, I write this almost every day. There's 4 things: seek truth, walk courageously, love unconditionally, and live free.
What was the second one again?
Seek truth, walk courageously, love unconditionally, and live free. So I write those almost every day, just to remind myself that's the goal. Do I always attain that? It's like, no, but that's what I do. So anyway, the journal, I think we get too intimidated, right? It's like, it's got to be something. It's like, no, okay, it could be just a bunch of mishmash and you just had to write something down.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes just getting that step.
Yeah.
I think some people that always ask me like, what's the best exercise to do? I'm like, I don't know, indoors, outdoors, just move your body. It's like, just get the pen or pencil even. I like pencil sometimes because it's like sketchy. And like,
is that right? You do sketch?
Sometimes I like pencil because I can shade things and I can just kind of play a little bit in there.
So you actually do like paper. You don't have it on a like in a computer.
No. I have like 30 journals that are full.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's awesome though.
Yeah. I sent you some questions, as because you were like, hey, what are some of the questions that we're going to ask? Were any of those questions that I sent to you, did any of those questions sort of prompt kind of more thinking that you wanted to share here now?
No, I mean, there's a lot of things we covered. So I was like, I don't really think so. It's like, I told you about like basically what was this is all because of what would you do if you weren't afraid? So that's what, oh, by the way, the garden out here, like this was because we just wanted an oasis. We wanted someplace where it's almost like a getaway. And then you ask me about farming. It's like, well, this is the only farming I get to do. We have a gardener, so don't get too impressed with this.
I was going to say, because that's amazing.
I shouldn't go, I go out there every, but no. We have an amazing gardener that does an incredible job. But I go out and I play with stuff and I grow. There's a few things that I can grow.
That's awesome.
But the whole point of that is so it's just an oasis. It's kind of a place to
That's
get away.
That's why we leave this open. I mean, for a podcast, it makes no sense because you want the most quiet environment possible for a podcast. But for me, I want this open because I want to feel connected to the oasis that you created. Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah. In a big way. Okay. I asked you a question about like what question, and was there any questions that sort of kind of prompted more thoughts? Because what I know is, as a pastor, as somebody that sits with a lot of people, as you share that you still do that, right? You sit with people. And you said to be a pastor and to sit with people, you really just need to be a good listener. And as a good listener, I imagine you ask pretty good questions. And I'm wondering if there's a question that seems to be a question that you tend to maybe ask more often than not, that helps that person you're sitting with get closer to like truth, right? Unlock the thing that's inside of them.
I don't know that I ask questions. I listen. But a lot of times, Lord, what do you want them to know? What do you want them to know? And sometimes I don't get anything, but sometimes I'll just get one or two words, and I just tell them. I just think, okay, does this word mean anything to you? And
that's fascinating. Does this word
one word, and
like the word will come to you?
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because there's a place in the scripture where it talks about one word from the heart of God. It's like just one word. And one of my favorite stories is it was a guy that we were working with. It's been 5 or 6 years ago now. And he's anyway, I'll explain in a minute. He's sitting there. He's a worship leader. He's doing all these different things. And I'm listening to him, but he's kind of unsettled. He's unsettled. He's just not really sure where he wants to go and he starts alluding to the fact that he really wants to pastor. And I got real clear the word permission. That's all I told him.
Yeah.
I said, the Lord said permission. And he just broke down because all he was looking for was somebody to give him permission, because everybody thought he was such a great worship leader, which he was, that he couldn't go into pastoring. And I didn't know that at the time. I heard the word. I mean, I heard it. It's like, okay, and I'll just say it. And that's what I mean. It's like sometimes just a single word is enough that people need to hear.
You hear it? Do you feel it? How do you get that word? How do you get the word?
I guess I just feel it.
You feel it.
Yeah, I guess I just feel it. It's just like, most of the time when I get, not most of the time, when I know that it's a word, it's like it is completely unrelated to anything that there's no way I would have come up with that word on my own.
Do you think you get those words because you have a rich prayer life, or why do you think those words happen? Because there's people probably that hear words or feel words. They maybe they want to hear them, and maybe they do hear them, but they don't say them. Okay,
for me, sometimes my problem when I don't hear is because I'm trying too hard. I'd like say, I got it all figured out. It's like, no, I don't have it figured out. Sometimes I'm really good, and sometimes I just don't hear because I'm trying so hard to hear something.
God, it's so good.
And so but when I just relax, like, okay, Lord, what do you want to do? And I just do. I just kind of like relax. Okay, what do you want to do? And if I hear something, I go. And if I don't hear anything,
I just want to make sure we get that, because one of the guests that came here was Caroline Burkle.
Okay.
She's an Olympic swimmer. And she said when she would try too hard in the pool, she would swim slower.
Yes.
And I've been around a lot of basketball players that when they try too hard, the ball's going out of bounds, they're just messing up, they're forcing it, all the shots are bricking, all that. I've never heard it in this context, though, that you want to keep the sort of channel open, and if you're trying too hard to listen, then you hear nothing. You hear those words don't come.
Yep.
That's fascinating.
Yep. Oh. Same kind of thing. And I do. I know.
I was trying too hard to listen. Even.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Lord, you do this thing. I'm going to really listen. It's like, yeah, I don't know what he does when he's up there. It's like, would you just knock it off?
So it's like, relax.
Yeah. It really is. It just comes down to relax. It's like, it's. And the relationship needs to be such, like when you say it's like, you because you have a great prayer life. It's like, yeah, I think I got a great prayer life, but my prayer life is a lot of, I just talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally, I will just sit and talk to him. It's like, I'll read the scriptures. Like, I don't understand why you did that. Tell me why you did that. Now I don't get it right away, but I'll ask the same question over and over again. And then eventually I get that. Wow. And I do. I mean, not that there's not times when you just really, real into prayers. Like there's certain things that you really want to see accomplished. But a lot of my prayer life is I just talk to him. I go out here sometimes in the garden and I'll just sit and talk to him. It's like, listen, I'm really having a rough time here. It's like, I need clarity because I'm not seeing what you want me to see.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've learned out of all of the things that we've gone through, I do much less rebuking the devil and much more, Lord, what do you want me to see that I'm not seeing?
Good question.
So because I feel like sometimes we look at things and we get these roadblocks and it's the devil, which it could be. I'm not saying that it's not, because there are times when it really is. It's demonic activity. I mean, we Ephesians 6, it's like we're in a world that's not of this, You
clearly don't know your Bible.
so there is that. There is that essence. But there's also sin sometimes when, I hit roadblocks, and once I hit the roadblocks, he's like, okay, now that I have your attention, I mean, it's almost like he's saying, okay, now that I have your attention, I really need you to look over here, because the answer is this direction. So I spend a lot more times like, Lord, what do you want me to see that I'm not seeing? And it could be that I need to, because you can't take authority over demonic realms. Like there may be times when it needs to be, all right, I got to take authority over this because this is not of him. But it could be, yes, Scott, I really needed you to look over here. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
So it becomes, I guess, a relationship. It really is a relationship. I mean, Paul says, I pray without ceasing. Now, how in the wide world is he able to do that? Well, he must have had a pretty good relationship with them. They evidently just talked all the time.
Yeah, really good. Yep, really good. As we start to close this out, you mentioned these words, that sometimes come, and And also the idea of like trying too hard. And that's sort of what the transition of this show, Adam Cobb Show, is we're sort of indoors here at your lab and start to take this sort of an outdoor experience for people. And it sort of stemmed from this idea that like in life, our culture says like, just push, you know, push hard. And the idea that was sort of came over me that like, well, I think in life we're just meant to pull like love, you pull towards you versus like pushing everything away. And even this tire, it's a metaphor for life, but like I'm going to attach a tire to people and have them pull. And then we're going to pause and pray and then we're going to plunge. And
so you do take the tire off of them after the prayer.
We'll take the tire. Yeah. So like hopefully you're going to say yes. And we can warm up to that. You know, we're getting there, right? We're getting there. This is like, okay, you know, got your drink and then we'll get your lunch and then we'll say yes. Warming it up. But we'll have a harness that'll attach to you.
Yeah.
And there'll be like, you know, like about a 20-foot sort of cable that'll attach to a 25-pound tire.
Okay.
And once it hits the sand, it then has a drag force of about 2 to 3 X, you know. So we're now going about 25 pounds becomes about 50 to 65 pounds. And then if it starts to fill up with sand, it can get up to like about 100 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea is like, we're going to be in the sand, we're going to play to some degree, but we're going to set an intention. Like, what are you pulling in your life right now? That might be a limiting belief. That might be a thing that you just know you have a hard time overcoming, or you just don't want to face, and you're going to pull it forwards and you'll turn around and pull it backwards. So you'll be, and that word or that phrase, whatever it is for you, and I'm going to ask you right now in a moment, like what you're pulling. And then we're going to write down in chalk or a marker on the tire that word or that phrase.
That's
so
good.
You
Okay.
see it. So your brain's like, yes, because my life experience and my mentors that have been able to mentor me and I've been able to learn from them, it's just that concept of I've tried to run away from things in my life, and I know facing them is when I've just had less burden with them. I've started to like have a conversation with fear or whatever that might be. So, so for you, because you had a kind of a play on that word plunge, but I wanted to ask about pull, and we're kind of prepping. See how we're doing that? We're prepping the outdoor version of this conversation. What are you pulling right now in your life? Whether that's a limiting belief or it's just something that's really challenging right now. And it might be beating you up, might be beating you up at 3 a.m. It might be beating you up when, you know, those, every now and then we have a lonely moment, right? We're feeling like, oh, it's just me in this thing. God, come on, help me out here. Like those moments, like, what are you pulling right now?
There are probably several things. One is the biggest thing is like for what we're doing with the lab, even though there's churches that are looking and they're really interested. And it's like, Lord, this is going to change people's lives. I don't understand why we're not, it's not bigger, why it's not making more of an impact. So there's some frustration with that. Of course, it's not making the money that I wanted to make. What I want to be able to do is that it's financially sustainable on its own. It's not sustainable yet. It's like a true confession. It's not sustainable yet. I want it to be sustainable. So those really are the big things.
If I was to write something on that tire that you could see, what would it be? What would the word be, or the couple words be then?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the word would be. I don't know, because there's so many things. It's like, okay, there's a lot of things I'm real happy about right now. So it's like, I don't know that there's to zero in on that.
Another way to say that is because then we're going to pull, and then we're going to pause, and we're going to sit down together. We unhook the tire at that point. We come closer to the water's edge, and we sit and we talk about what that experience is like, and then we pray. So another way to say maybe what you'd be pulling is, what would we be praying for? If we were really intentional, praying for something specific for you in your life, what would that thing be?
Okay. The next phase.
See.
The next phase. Okay.
Thank you for that. That just helped me understand when somebody's stuck on the pull part, that the prayer part helps them get there.
The next phase. Because the next phase. Okay. So
the transition, the next phase. Because
the next phase. Okay. So I've got the one book done. I've got the second book that I'm working on. I want this to be successful, but the next phase, and I don't know that I'm totally clear on the next phase. Okay, I've learned this from soccer. I didn't grow up with soccer. I had to learn it with my kids because they all latched onto soccer. Soccer field is amazing because they always talk about the final third. The final third is that area where they could come in and they could score. And teams are notoriously bad in the final third. They just can't get the ball in the goal. They just can't. The final third, to tie it into, I feel like I'm in the final third of my life. I'm stretching it so I can still have a third left, but it's a final third. This should be the time when I should actually be scoring the most. If that makes
completely.
It's like too many people get to my age and they're talking about retirement, and they're going to ride off into the sunset. It's like, why? You just got 40 some years of experience. What are you doing walking off now?
Reminds me of Tom Brady when he was like, why would I retire at 40? When from 40 to 45, my brain's figured out the game so well, I just need my body to kind of cooperate. And you're saying like, you have all this life experience.
Yeah.
Why are you going to retire now?
Yeah.
When you said that, when I asked something about retired pastor, you're like, oh, I don't want to retire until like 90 or something.
Yeah. Why would I give up on that now?
Yeah.
So then it's the clarity of what's this final third look like, because I want to be able to give back. That was the reason for the 2 books to start with. It's like, okay, at least I can give back that way.
Yeah.
I read a quote one time that said, when a person dies, a library dies with them. And it's like, oh my gosh. So it's like, and I've got all these experiences that, like, I mean, my kids have seen some of it, but they haven't seen all of it. It's like, I want to be able to write it down, but also then it's like, okay, if I can help somebody else so that they don't have those experiences, they'll have their own set of experiences, but if I can empower them and help them so that they can avoid some of the pitfalls that I had, which I guess is part of what a trailblazer does. It's like, we're basically trailblazers. It's like, nobody understands the trailblazing. It's like they follow behind in a wake that they didn't fully have to experience, but that's okay. I'm good. I'm good with that. How do I put that into words? How do I put that into something so that it can be passed on? Again, I'm just trying to fill heaven.
Yeah. And from what I'm hearing in this conversation is that you're not dying with a library. Is that the phrase?
No, I don't want
dying
to.
With what was the phrase? Dying with a library?
Yeah.
In them?
Yeah. You don't need, when a person dies, a library dies with them.
A library dies with them. Yeah, that's not happening for you. Like,
No.
You're getting this out. You're getting your dreams out. You just wrote your book. When's the book going to be out?
Well, that's a great question.
Okay.
I just talked to a publisher today. I'm going to see if I can get it published. I would like to by October 1st.
Do we know the title?
Displaced Cowboy.
Displaced Cowboy.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a part of me that as we do the outdoor version and we pull and we pray and we plunge, that you wear your cowboy hat.
Oh no, I'm not wearing my cowboy hat in the ocean. It's like,
okay.
No.
You're like, hold on, that's only for the farm.
You don't ruin a perfectly good cowboy hat.
You don't do that.
Like, no.
Fair.
Maybe I can find a cheap one.
Clearly, I'm from the city. I'm not from the farm. I said the word plunge, and you said, oh, just sort of as a pastor, you start to draw in some references there. And the idea that like, then we go into the water and we make some sort of commitment to the next chapter, whatever that might be. And we walk into the ocean and we sort of come out with a recommitment. But you said, oh, you could play with some ideas there. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's a little bit like, I mean, in some sense it is like baptism, because in Colossians it talks about, it's like it's the burying of the old man. It's the burial of what you used to be. So you plunging into the ocean is symbolic of the fact that it's like, okay, what I was dragging, I'm not going to drag anymore. So I'm plunged into the ocean, which the ocean is living water. Okay, so that's the whole purpose of, the Bible talks about living water. And Jesus actually was baptized in the Jordan. Why was he baptized in the Jordan? Because it was living water, which incidentally, the living water from the Jordan River washed away down into the Dead Sea. So the things that get washed away, washed into something that's dead, you can't touch again. So I give all kinds of symbol for that. But the point is that you go in, you plunge in to get rid of the way you used to be, and you come back up a new person.
Yeah.
It's like I'm coming back out of the water without that thing I was dragging, and I come back a different person. I come back. So I love that whole idea. It's like I'm letting go of those things from the past because I'm going to press in. I press on. Philippians. Yeah, I got scriptures for everything.
For days.
But that's what he says. So
it sounds like you're invested in this idea, pull, pray, plunge. You like the idea.
Well, you really worked me into that one, didn't you? It's like, okay, if I just kind of inch my way. All right, Adam. Okay.
We get the verbal commitment?
Yeah.
Come on. Yes. This is exciting.
I don't know how you're going to make me do this.
This is exciting. Yeah. I love it. Hey,
I'm glad it's exciting. Wait, it's exciting for one person. The other was like, I don't believe what I just did. But okay.
It's going to be, I asked my wife, Daisy, if she wanted to do it. And she said, sure. And then I said just recently, hey, we're going to do that. We're going to do the pull, pray, plunge next in 3 weeks or something. She goes, I'm nervous. And I said, good. Like when she gives keynotes and when she gives keynotes, she gets nervous. And I go, well,
okay,
it's okay. Like you get a little nervous when you're doing something that matters, something that's a little bit unknown.
Sure.
And I know a lot of pastors that get up on stage, and even though they do it every Sunday is like okay. Like I'm getting up there.
Absolutely.
And there's a little bit nervous. Maybe there's a bathroom ritual that happens before. But like, that's a great response that you just gave me. Because it's like, okay. I don't know if I'm excited. Well, yeah. And we're going to kind of wiggle into this thing. It's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
It can be confronting. But the whole reason was because, again, that client and has become sort of like a business advisor in a way, and a friend, her name's Mel. And she was like, well, you really just want to show up on camera and you want your show to embody who you are.
Yeah.
Like the truest essence of who you are. And my thing has always been like when people are like, what's your love language? And there's like 5 love languages from the book, right? I've always been like, well, mine's like the 6th love language. It's called movement. And that's how Daisy and my wife and I met, was like through movement and working out. And I find like when I move that my emotions flow, momentum builds, and there's deep connection with another. So I can only imagine, because I've really enjoyed this conversation with you and connection time, I can only imagine being in the sand and moving with you. And there's we're going to see a high and good, bad, and ugly. We're going to see it all.
Right.
And in that, I think there's just like even more truth that comes out. So that's the vision. That's the vision, right? Like let's do that. And we get to be here and get to bring people to the ocean. There are a lot of people in their lifetime will never be in the ocean. They just won't. They won't get the chance, to be in the water and to be in the sand. So thanks for that. And
that's a great idea. And you're right. It's like, how many people in LA? It's like, or in this area.
Just in
it's
LA,
like,
never mind.
They never go to the ocean.
Kansas, for example, right? Like, when are they going to get to the ocean? So let's close this out with really maximizing that James Earl Jones / Scott.
Okay.
Right. Fairchild voice.
Hey, I didn't tell you. I did actually in community college. I was a DJ for a while.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes. What's the song?
No, you're not going to get me to sing the song.
Your go-to song.
No. My go-to song is I got friends in low places.
And I don't know that song. How does that go?
You don't, I'm not singing it.
I'm only
singing it.
We're not going to sing it, but just like the idea of like, how does it go?
I got friends in low places where the whiskey, see, this is part of it, because what's it?
Where the whiskey and
the beer chases my blues away. Yeah. Which is my blues away. So
yes,
that's what you're after. And the problem is, like, you know, because people, I actually did, I sang that song. We did a karaoke one night for church, for like on a Friday night or a Saturday night. It's like, I don't know how well this is going to go over, but I don't care. I really like this song. So, and everybody laughed at it. They thought it was funny, but it's like, it's so funny to see, you know, the pastor at the time standing up singing, I got friends in those places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. But yeah, they liked it.
Hey, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
For doing this.
This is great.
For saying yes. I've had a lot of fun. And we got the commitment to do Pull, Pray, Plunge together. So excited to do that. Again, thank you. Really appreciate it.
I thank you. I've enjoyed it. This is great. You're always a blessing every time you walk in the door. It's like, you proved it again. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. As we close this out, Adam Cobb Show, just want to remind you, as we close out this moment, this conversation with Scott, to not try so hard when we want to just be there and listen. And it's hard to listen when you try so hard. It's hard to do anything when you try so hard. And to lead with kindness, to put a cool image on the back of your business card, and to just show up and lead with that kindness and invite people in. Until next time, get out there and make a difference.
That's awesome.
Really appreciate it.